What's good, y'all? So the playoffs are finally here. It's crazy how 18 weeks have already passed in the NFL season. Well, regular season is basically over, but anyways, I know I haven't posted a predictions video in a while, in 2 weeks, but I have been posting my predictions in the community post thing that YouTube has. I've been posted them there before. I posted it before the Thursday night football game on week 17 and before the Saturday games last week for week 18. So if you guys want to go check those out, the community posts, you guys can go see them. But anyways, for week 18, I went 10-6, bringing my prediction record up to 168 and 103. I was hoping to get under 100 predictions wrong. But anyways, let's go right into the playoff predictions. So we are here at the NFL prediction website that I always use. I'm going to be doing the same thing as I was doing it in the regular season. Predict these games, and then next week I'll predict the games between whoever advances on, so on and so forth. But I'm just going to be giving you guys my full bracket now to see how well or how badly I would have gotten in the playoffs. So we'll go ahead and start with the 49ers and the Seahawks. It's crazy that the Seahawks are actually in the playoffs. Because going into this year, we expected the Broncos to make the playoffs because they got Russell Wilson and they had good wide receivers and good weapons on offense. And people didn't expect the Seahawks to make the playoffs because Geno Smith, and he's a veteran. He's getting older, and we all thought he wasn't gonna take the Seahawks to the playoffs, but he did. But their journey ends here. I mean, the 49ers have swept this. Well, the 49ers just swept the Seahawks in the regular season. And although it is hard to beat teams 3 games in a row, and we saw last year that the 49ers tried to do that to the Rams, but they couldn't. It's a different team. The Seahawks are not as good as the Rams last year. The Seahawks team right now is not as good as the Rams team last year. So that's why I'm going to be going with the Niners. I feel like they'll be able to do it here against Seahawks. Now, if Russell Wilson was still the quarterback for the Seahawks, this would be a big game. But since he's not, and the rivalry has kind of died down, this game isn't as big. So I still pick the Niners to win this. I'm pretty confident that the Niners will win this. If they don't, I'm gonna be genuinely surprised because I expect the Niners to not. They're not going to blow out the Seahawks, but it probably will be close to a blowout. Next, we got the Vikings and the Giants. I'm going to be going with the Vikings here. Although they haven't been playing their best football recently, I still think they'll be able to, beat the Giants. It's cool to see that the Giants are in the playoffs, but, I mean, like the Seahawks, their journey ends here. I'm picking the Vikings to win. Next, we got the Buccaneers and the Cowboys. To me, this is tough. They played each other earlier this year, week 1 actually, and the Bucs won, but that was week 1. And the Cowboys been struggling. The Bucs been struggling. They just came off a 30-17 loss to the Atlanta Falcons. Cowboys just came off a loss to the Commanders, but then again, it is a divisional matchup, so things can get a little can get weird. But I honestly don't know who to pick here for the NFC. I'm gonna go with the Bucs. We'll stay on the NFC side, and then we'll predict the AFC side after we finish predicting the NFC champion. So next, we got the Buccaneers and the Eagles. I'm picking the Eagles to move on. It's no question that the Eagles are going to beat the Buccaneers. I feel like the Eagles. Last year the Eagles played the Buccaneers in like the wild card round, and the Bucs blew out the Eagles. But this year, this is a different Eagles team. They're easily going to beat the Buccaneers. Next, we got the Vikings and the 49ers. This one is going to be an interesting matchup. What it comes down to is the 49ers defense. Now, the 49ers defense, I think, will be able to handle Kirk Cousins. Now, the passing game, I feel like it's going to be like the Raider game. They're going to allow Justin Jefferson to get a lot of yardage. They're going to probably allow some to TJ Hawkinson. They're probably going to allow some to Adam Thielen, but I think they'll be able to manage. I'm picking the Niners here because, I mean, the Vikings, Kirk Cousins is a pocket passer. He's not a scrambling QB, so that's good for the 49ers defense because the 49ers, I mean, their defense is not good against those type of quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins definitely isn't that, and he can be inconsistent at some times, which is good for the 49ers defense, so I'm going to be picking them to win this game against the Vikings. Now, for the NFC champion. For the NFC champion, 49ers versus Eagles. 49ers versus Eagles. I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles. Although I think this is gonna be a pretty close game. This one can go either way. If this actually does end up happening, going into the game, I am expecting the 49ers to play well. Because I feel like the Niners offense definitely is gonna be able to score points against the Eagles defense. The Eagles offense will probably score points against the 49ers offense. I don't not offense defense. I don't know who's gonna stop AJ Brown. So he's definitely gonna, you know, he's definitely probably going to go off. Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's a scrambling quarterback. If he needs to, he'll pick up yardage, which is with his legs. So I don't see. It's tough, but I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles. I mean, the Niners will be playing in Philadelphia, so it'll be harder for the 49ers to win, and I'm just not too confident with the Eagles because of the way they play, you know? So I'm picking the Eagles here. They are the NFC champion going in to the Super Bowl in Arizona. Let's go ahead and pick on the AFC side. So first we got the Bills and the Dolphins. I'm going to be going with the Bills. The Bills beat the Dolphins earlier this season, but earlier on in the season, the Dolphins beat the Bills, but then again, this is a different Dolphins team than earlier in the year. Dolphins have been struggling, but the Bills, I mean, they've been playing consistently well, so I'm gonna be going with them to beat the Dolphins. Moving on into the next round, next we got the Bengals and the Ravens. I'm not sure if Lamar is playing. If Lamar is playing, I'd pick the Ravens, but since I don't think he is, I'm going with the Bengals because the Ravens right now with their quarterback, their offense has been struggling. Their defense is not going to be able to keep up with the Bengals for too long, and their offense won't be able to either. So I'm going to be going with the Bengals. Next, we've got the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is a surprise to me, against the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, I'm picking all teams on the top row, which is crazy, but I mean, I didn't even know the Chargers were in the playoffs, to be honest with you. I wasn't really paying attention to the AFC because the Niners, I mean, they were fighting for the number 2 seed. They got it, and they had a chance to get the number 1 seed, but the Eagles secured it with the win over the Giants. So I haven't really been paying attention to the AFC, and it's crazy to see these two teams in the playoffs. But I'm gonna be going with the Jaguars to win this game against the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers have been struggling. They've been inconsistent. I mean, I'm going with the Jaguars. Now, I'm probably gonna be like so wrong on that, but they're playing in Jacksonville, so I mean, at least the Jaguars will have some sort of home team advantage. Their fan base is definitely going to show up because it's their first playoff game since Blake Bortles was their quarterback. So that's going to be cool to see. But I am picking the Chargers to win. Next, we got the Chiefs against the Chargers. Not the Chargers, the Jaguars. Now, Jaguars, this is where your playoff run ends. You guys are not beating the Chiefs. Let's be realistic here. You guys definitely have a chance to beat the Chargers, but you guys have no shot at beating the Chiefs. If you guys do beat the Chiefs, I will be genuinely surprised. So I'm going to be going with the Chiefs here. Next, we got the Bengals and the Bills. Although I have slept on the Bengals this season, your playoff journey ends here. I'm picking the Bills to win. This is a textbook AFC Championship game right here. But yeah, I'm picking the Bills to win because I do feel like the Bills are one of the best teams in the NFL, if not the best team in the NFL. The Bengals, they'll be able to keep pace with the Bills for just a little bit, but not the entire game. The Bills offense, I think, will just be able to explode against the Bengals defense. And then, I mean, the Bengals offense, they'll score some points, but won't be enough to keep up with the Bills offense. Next, we've got the AFC Championship game between the Bills and the Chiefs. This game, I can definitely see going both ways, but the Chiefs, they don't have Tyreek Hill anymore, and although their supporting cast, not their supporting cast, well, Patrick Mahomes is supporting cast, his wide receivers, Juju Smith-Schuster's been having a good year, I mean, Travis Kelce, obviously, and then you got, Mecole Hardman, no, Marcus Valdes-Scantling, I'm sorry. He's doing well, too. And I mean, that Chiefs defense has been pretty good this year, too. But the same could be said about the Bills. So this one's going to be hard. This one is going to be played in Arrowhead. But I'm going to be going with the Bills here. I'm high on the Bills. I like the Bills. I've been picking the Bills to make the Super Bowl for like 2 years in a row. 3 years in a row, maybe. I've been picking the Bills to make it to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, I'm high on the Bills. I think they can do it. They can definitely do it. 100%. Their path to the Super Bowl doesn't get hard until probably the Chiefs game. Next, we've got the Super Bowl matchup. the Bills and the Eagles. I feel like at the beginning of the season, you'd pick either the Chiefs or the Bills to make it to the Super Bowl. On the NFC side, I don't know who you would pick, but I mean, it's the number 2 seed versus it's number 2 seed in the AFC versus the number 1 seed in the NFC. The Bills and the Eagles. I gotta go with the Bills as the Super Bowl champion. I've done this 2 years in a row, 3 years in a row, I think. But let me give you my reasons why. I feel like both teams' defenses are pretty similar. I just feel like the Bills defense are a little bit better. On offense, the Bills offense is just so good for me not to pick them. Josh Allen, arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. If not, he's one of the best. Stephon Diggs proves to still be a top tier wide receiver. You have good secondary weapons too in Gabriel Davis and Isaiah McKenzie. I mean, you got a good tight end too, a good old reliable Dawson Knox. He'll be there for you. The only problem with the Bills is probably the run game. I mean, Devin Singletary isn't that good. The run game isn't that good, but I mean, they definitely make up for 100% in the passing game. The Eagles have a decent run game, or good run game, and they have a good passing game too. So I think is going to be like the Eagles versus Patriots Super Bowl, where it's going to be a high scoring affair, but I think in the end it's going to go to the Bills. So guys, that is my playoff bracket for the NFL. Let's see how well I can do. If I get all of these predictions correct, that would actually be crazy because I would have predicted the entire playoffs. So hopefully I do. Well, not hopefully. Hopefully the Niners beat the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. I'm actually hoping for that. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.